If you've been following my content, you know I'm all about bringing and unifying Black and brown people. I've been living in Mexico for the past 10 years. I'm originally from the United States. I'm from the Bay Area, California. And I grew up with mostly Mexicans. So I was like the only Black girl from elementary on to until I got to high school. And so I pretty much was surrounded by Mexican culture in the United States. And a lot of the people that I called friends, their names were like Octavio, Lupita, Monica, Sylvia. Last names were Inguanzo, Perez, Gonzalez. And so for a lot of my younger years, that's all I knew. Even my sisters then would tease me because I have older sisters, and they would be like, it's not Monica, it's Monica. It's not Veronica, it's Veronica. And I'm just like, okay, I didn't know. Like everybody in my class, pretty much spoke Spanish, and I was like the only English speaker. And, I was placed in these classes for what reason? I don't know why. I was really shy, you know? But I wanted to talk about when I moved to Mexico. And when I moved to Mexico, I remember one time, it's story time. I remember one time I don't know exactly where I was going, but I was on what airline? Mexican airline. I think I was on Volaris. And I was the only Black person. You feel me? The only English speaker. Everybody was Spanish speaking from different parts of Mexico or whatever. And this gentleman, I sat next to this gentleman, and he was just being really kind and really nice. For the most part, Mexican people are the freaking sweetest, especially in places like Puebla and Oaxaca and places that I don't know. They have my heart. These people basically have taken me in and made me part of their family. But so he was just like, where you from? What are you doing out here? Whatever, just being really sweet. He spoke English because my Spanish at that time was worse than it is now. I like to think I know a little bit of Spanish. I can understand a little bit. But anyway, I wanted to talk about a lot of stuff that I post about. And see, I've been creating a space for Black and brown women to come together and create a platform for us to thrive and to create business and to create financial wealth and freedom with each other. And these are stories that we share. Living in Mexico has taught me so much about the Mexican people and the hardships that they've been through and that they're still going through, and how the most marginalized people in Mexico are the Indigenous and Black people. So anyway, back to the story. I'm sitting next to this guy. I don't remember exactly what he looked like. And he was like, oh, where have you been in Mexico? And I was like, well, I've pretty much been everywhere because, I came out to Mexico to travel, to figure out where it is that I want to live. And he's like, oh my God, have you been to Jalisco? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh my God, the prettiest people live in Jalisco. And I was like, for real? He was like, oh my God, they're fair skin, blonde hair, blue eyes. And I'm just like, like the disrespect. But I had to think, this is all due to programming. In the United States, we have segregation. And in Latin America, places, and Central America, in places like Mexico, you have the caste system. And that was brought to these places by the Spanish. And there is a hierarchy, right? And on the bottom of that list is the Indigenous and Black people. So, I felt kind of offended, but I see that he didn't think he was saying anything wrong. It's so ingrained in a lot of people to not love what we came from. And so for the longest, my mission has been to educate people about the things that I've been learning about Mexico and how Black and brown people have fought side by side, fighting for the same things we're fighting for now. But the difference between then and now is that we're so separated. We're so segregated. And we've allowed our oppressors and those who have destroyed our foundations, you know, to pit us against each other and to pretty much just hate each other for no reason, for a fight at a table that they don't want to set anyway. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I am really searching, especially for women. And I have videos of marches happening in Mexico. Yeah, this stuff that they don't really publicize. Marches happening in parts of Mexico. Women who are fighting for their voices to be heard. They're sick of the machismo mentality. They're sick of the ways that these European standards have brought to their countries and basically try to destroy and wipe out their beautiful heritage and culture, you know? And as a Black woman from the United States of America, my ancestors, my mom, my grandma, you know, my aunties, and some of my sisters who are older than me have told me stories of similar, the same type of stories. And, you know, and I can resonate so much with it. And I wish that we would sit down and really listen to each other and really listen to the stories and share the stories and see how much that we go through a lot of the same things. And so I offer my platform for that. I am really working on being more consistent and being more present and being a pioneer and a voice and a safe space for us women to talk about that as I seek friendships with women globally to really come together and build a sisterhood, you know, a friendship, a place that we can not only heal, but also thrive. So if you are someone who's seeking that and you want to be a part of what we got going on, all you do is reach out to me, click the link in my bio, and tap into my WhatsApp. Oh, by the way, I'm Damayanga. Some know me as Diani. Ciao.